Hey yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Ree. I'm back with a brand new podcast for y'all. It's the Ayo Show. What is Ayo? Ayo is my official greeting where I just greet everybody online and stuff and social media and everything. So when I pop in on people, I'll be like, Ayo, what's up? So that's where the name Ayo came from. I appreciate y'all watching, listening on all the podcast platforms to my very first episode of the AO Show. Today, I got a special guest for y'all. I called in a good friend of mine, Coach Mike James. He is a personal health coach. He is a life coach. You heard me? A life coach. So, this conversation was real good and I learned a lot of stuff and he encouraged me in a whole lot of ways. He blessed my soul throughout this interview. All right. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the Culture Network. Follow us on IG at the.culture.network. Also, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Again, this is DJ Ree, and you're watching the very first episode of the AO podcast. All right. Let's get into it. Coach Mike James, how are you doing today, brother?
Bro, I'm good, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man, and just reaching out. I love anytime I can connect with dope people, man. So I'm excited to be here, man.
Yes, I appreciate you. We know each other from a streaming platform called Kocha. He's just a big supporter of me and some other streamers out there. He's also a mentor, a life coach, and he's very positive. And he's also a master of the dad jokes. The dad jokes.
No doubt.
So I appreciate you for coming. I wanted you to come on just to have a discussion about our young black kings and queens here in America and everything that's going on from police brutality. Also, there's a lot of suicides going on, and I want to reach out to you because you bring positive vibes. Every time I see you in the Poco streets, it's nothing but positive vibes, and you're a joy to be around. When somebody's having a bad day, Coach Mike puts a smile on somebody's face. So I wanted to bring in this conversation to you so we can lift up some young people out there, let them know, don't be worried, and life gets hard, but it'll get better. So like I said, I appreciate you for coming on. Give us a background about what you do and your mentoring program and everything.
Yeah, man. Thank you. First of all, for saying that, man. It's always uplifting for me to hear when someone says that, because I share all the time that my life's mission is to share my light, love, and positivity with as many people as I can in the time and space that I have. So that
Right.
means any space that I occupy. And so I definitely appreciate hearing those words, man, because that's the goal. Of course, you know me, whether it's joking or cutting up every now and again, I like to do that. But I hope when I leave a space or a room that people will say, at the very least, one of those coach came and shared some light, or man, he's a positive guy. So my background, man, was that, just to make it short and sweet, I was 15 years full-time personal trainer, which I still do some of that on the side. So that's where a lot of the energy and passion for life and health and fitness comes from. But I got to the point where I wanted more. On one hand, I wanted more. I wanted to help people beyond the physical. But on the other hand, what we're talking about right now, it got heavy for me, being that I work with more uh kind of upper um high middle, upper middle class to upper class clientele. And typically I was the only one in the room that looked like us.
Wow.
For my last two jobs, where I spent the last 12 pretty much 12 of the 15 years I was in personal training full time. And so it really got heavy where you almost have an identity crisis. And I was like, okay, well, for one, if I'm going to be helping someone else with their dream, right? Because as an
Mhm.
employee, truthfully, that's what you're doing. You're helping someone else cultivate and grow their dream. But I was like, okay, if I'm getting to the point where when things go on in the Black community and I feel alone, besides, you know, maybe a coworker that's not even in the fitness department here and there. Okay, well, why don't you do something for yourself, especially since you want to help beyond that? So coaching, man, it was one of the things I was kind of searching for what I wanted to do, bro, honestly. And life coaching was one of those things. I had the concept or understanding of life coaching just like a lot of coaches do when they first go into it. And it's
Right.
like they think, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to go out there and fix people and motivate people." That's what I was doing. Like people call me, bro, to get advice on different things in life. I was always even when I was younger. So I recognized the gift that was instilled in me from birth. And when I found out what it was, I did my training and here I am, man. So I dubbed myself the 5 C's coach. So my mission is to partner with those who feel lost or stuck to empower them. And I am a transformation coach as well as a youth coach to empower them to unlock their power and gain their 5 C's. That is, become capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous
Wow.
to achieve in life and to, to welcome that better version of themselves. So that's a little bit about me, man. And that's what led me to. And so the energy, the light, love, positivity, the passion, man, I hope that every space that I occupy, that's left. And the same thing you said, that people will say that in every encounter, man. So that's my spiel.
Oh, that's dope. That's deep. The 5 C's you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, so after this, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna write down the 5 C's and apply it to my life too. So I appreciate you, brother, for that.
No doubt,
Um,
no doubt.
so I think you answered my question. I was like, actually, did you go to school, get a degree in for coaching or anything like that? But you said you just studied for it, or
So with the coaching, so of course my degree is in exercise science, fitness
Mhm.
leadership from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB, go Blazers. Um, and that was that. With coaching, one of the things I knew is that coaching right now, life coaching, because of course, real most people meet me, they say coach, they look at
Right,
me and they say, oh, especially they connect me on social media, oh, he works out, so he's some kind of sports coach.
right, and that's what I
And then
thought
when I
too.
tell right, everybody, especially on Poco, everybody's
Right.
like, what do you coach? I was just in somebody's stream maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's like, what do you coach? And I said life coaching. We had been connected like 6 months, and it was like, oh, coach. And so, but so for life coaching is not yet a licensed or regulated field. What
Right,
that means is, you and I can wake up tomorrow and a million more people can say, I'm a life coach. Come
right,
see me and I'm going to do blah, 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 blah.
right,
With that being said, it's important to know that if you are seeking for a life coach, you want to have somebody with some real training. And so that's what I knew I had to have. So I started researching different schools. And I was just so blessed and fortunate to choose one of those who are constantly being in the top 5, sometimes top 3 of accredited schools under the ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation. So,
oh wow,
Certified Life Coach Institute. I got my at the time it was called Level 1 certification. So I was a certified life coach, and I wanted to keep going in the ranks, learn more, grow more. When I got my level two, so I became a master certified life coach. And I remember back on day 2 of my training, bro, I walked up to my instructor, my facilitator, and I was like, you don't know this, but I called home, told my wife, drove over to Atlanta for my training when I did it. And I walked up to the instructor that day 2 morning before people got there really. And I said, listen, I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling your energy. I love the presentation and all that. I said, so you're going to be my mentor and I'm going to do what you do. He reached his hand out, bro. He said, well, you said it. So we got to make it happen.
right.
And here it is. Fast forward after getting my level 1, my level 2, which is now 101, 102 certification. Then going through the process of getting my first level of credentialing, which is the ACC, the alphabet soup behind my name, Associate Certified Coach under the International Coaching Federation. So now I sit in the same spot and I'm a facilitator for that same school that certified me, almost 4 years ago, man. So it's been full circle, man, to do what I do now. And I just love it and passionate about it, man. And that's why I love helping other people, tap into their dream and really harvest the dream.
And how many years you been doing this now?
It'll be 4 years this summer since I fully walked away from training full time and started this. So it'll be 4 years this summer, man. And it seems like just yesterday. I guess time flies when you're having fun.
Right. And you know what? That's a lesson right there for the young folks. Just leap out on faith on your dreams right there.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Leap out on faith. Faith as a mustard seed on your dream right there, and watch what would happen. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that story. I appreciate that story, and I know your wife is very supportive of what you do too. And
Oh, no doubt.
yeah, and I know that's a major role into getting what you need done. Having that great success is having your partner be your backbone right beside you too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's great. That's great. Man, I'm gonna have to bring you on so we can talk more about your story because I know I got a conversation I want to have with you. But I appreciate that backstory. So, there's a lot of stuff going on in America and the world right now, especially that's affecting our young people. I know we're seeing a lot of deaths, a lot of young people taking their lives, um, a lot of people feeling discouraged because of the color of the skin being black in America, and they feel like they can't do anything. Um, how do you how can I ask this? How do you comfort the young people during those times? Um, Especially when the pandemic happened too. Uh,
Yeah.
Especially when that really messed with a lot of young people in their heads and everything. So how do you comfort them during that time? How do you keep their heads up? How do you encourage them?
Yeah. I think and you know, honestly, bro, it takes more tenderness, I would say, with the youth, but it's no different from adults. And what I mean by that is you got to empower them, right?
Right,
You got to empower them because society, like you said, is so much going on, especially in America and in the world, or people telling them, you know, that the color of your skin, and let's be real, even when you look like us, it could be shades. Oh, you too light, you too dark, you
right,
too this, you too that. And so I think the first step is that empowerment of really helping them to find the beauty in them.
hmm,
With the young people, man, especially the pandemic, what happened was now we were thrown more into this. We were thrown
right,
more into this, where
right,
things is virtual, is this no true real connections. And so if everything that you see is this, and when you look, everybody got it all together,
right,
right? Oh, he got them new J's, bruh.
right,
Oh man, she got the latest hairdo, man. She got this, she got that, he got that. It further takes you into that shell. And so now what I do to empower the youth, especially all my youth clients, and when I'm speaking to a youth sports group or anything like that, you have to start with yourself and realize what are the skills, what are the gifts that you have that sets you apart. Like it's all of the youth out there is something that you're good at. Right now, guess what? It's some youth that is struggling, but man, you see their artwork or their sketchbook and you're like, whoa, you
right,
did that?
right,
Or you hear them sing and it's like, whoa, young lady, where that voice come from? You see what I'm saying? But so
right.
much of, like you say, societal pressures is just squashing what's great inside. So the biggest thing for me, bro, to answer the question is spotlight on what's here.
Yeah,
What's your heart? What are you good at? What are you passionate about? It may not even be what you're good at, but what do you like? What are you passionate about? That is that little seed of hope that we can water. People like you and I to come along and say, okay, we've been through some things. We're a little bit older. We've seen some stuff. Where's the seed that we can water to help you grow and blossom into that young adult that we know you can be? So
Right.
that's the biggest thing for all the youth that will watch this or out there who's thinking, man, like, this person, I'm telling you, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be, because you never know what someone did to get what they have, if
Right.
that makes sense. You know what I mean, bro?
Right.
So a lot of times we have to get our youth to focus on what they do have and thankful. I tell my youth a lot of times, it's like, okay, what do you have? Well, I don't have both parents at home. Oh, wait, you have a home.
Right.
There's someone on the street right now. Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, I'm between, when we stand at a shelter right now. Oh, okay, but your mom is there or your dad is there. Oh, wait, you you have someone, you have something. So it's always something to find to help. Again, it's something we can water to help you grow and get out of the space of everybody else telling you what you ain't. We want to
Right.
focus on what you are.
Right. So about that, let's touch back on the social media aspect, 'cause that plays a major role
Yeah.
today. I feel it's a blessing and a curse. I say blessing because social media, that's where a lot of business get done, is on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
also it's a curse because in people's mind, people think, oh, they're doing this on social media. We can make it just like that real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like that. You feel me? So how how can we, I say, balance the social media with our young people? Because I see it. If my question makes sense,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Bro, you know what? It's so tough because if you think
right,
about it, if you think back to like before there were cell phones, back when
hmm,
we had pages or prepaid, you know what I mean? It's like,
right,
well, I can't talk to you until Friday. Don't text me,
right,
call me till Friday. You mean internet? What? It was no
right,
internet on the phone. It was to make a call. You ran out of minutes. You ain't got
right.
nothing but a block
Be
and
like, call
maybe
me, call,
Snake.
call me after 9 o'clock on my free
call me
minutes.
after, call me after 7. Call me after 9.
Right,
Right?
right,
So progress. Change is inevitable. One thing that is going to remain constant is change. And when you think about it now, babies, if you have any young children in your, like toddlers in your life, you realize they come out knowing how to work these things that
hmm,
we were here before they came, and then we kind of learned. So it was not a hard transition. But if you think about those who are older than us and then younger, they came out already knowing how to work a phone. So it's so much of their lives that they're
right,
inundated with. So we almost have to approach it with patience and love, because on one hand, if we tell them, we can warn them of the harms that can happen with social media, right? But
hmm,
as you know, you and I both know, you're a parent, I'm not a parent, I'm a mentor, I work with the youth. But your parent or somebody, an adult in your life, can tell you everything, but it don't make sense until maybe someone else said you'll never be cool enough to the kids in your life. You know what I mean?
right,
So it's
right,
almost like some of the stuff we can warn them and tell them, but the hard way. So social media, you really have to, I think you really have to get them to highlight and focus on the things that will feed them positively. And one of the things I tell my teens is, okay, what are you watching? If you looking at
mm,
fighting videos all the time, if you looking at, just, no matter what kind of music you like, if you always looking at one thing, guess what? That's planting that seed that I talked about, right? It's getting in your
right,
subconscious, even if you're not aware of it. So
right,
what are you feeding yourself? Now watch this, bro. Well, what should I be watching then, coach? Since you know everything, what do you like? What do you want to be when you grow up? One of my youth clients, he wants to be a wrestler. I'm like, bro, you should be studying wrestling camps.
yeah,
Watch some wrestling videos. And guess what? He's a student of it too. He can tell me about wrestlers I ain't even know about. You know what I mean? Like history. That's
right,
beautiful. So it's not necessarily that this is so horrible, right? It's how we use it. And like you said,
right,
it's kind of a catch 22, because it's beautiful in the connections you can make, business. When you got this, you got a whole freaking, you got the world in the palm of your hands. But
right,
how are you going to use it? So I think the focus for adults and anyone out there working with teens and the youth and everything that they're getting saturated with, focus on how they're using it, how they're using it, how they're using the platform or this blessing that they have, because this is
Right.
a blessing. It's a privilege to have this, literally a computer in your pocket. And I
But
think that's another thing they forget. They forget how blessed they are to even have it.
right. Do you also think it's a coping mechanism? They feel safer socializing on a social media platform than being outside in the real world because of what everything is going on, the police shootings, mass shootings, all things like that. Do you think young people feel much safer just being on their phone interacting with each other than being outside socializing?
Definitely some do. And as you mentioned before, the pandemic heightened that, made it
Right.
worse. Because now you got a you got this you got a big chunk of the population of Gen Z and the younger millennials that were either in college all the way down to grade school when the pandemic started. So we're talking about 3 years of
Right.
a different way of socializing that
Right.
has just flipped their world upside down. And so now I've been able to do this. I've been able to do this and just I can create and curate the person I want you to believe I am right
Hmm.
here. Now we got to talk in person. Whoa.
Let me
Now
tell
you
you,
see me.
my son is 11 in sixth grade. The pandemic started. So I think he was in the third grade when the pandemic started. He been doing online school for 3 years. He just started going back to campus during the sixth grade. And as a parent, I was so afraid. Okay, he's transitioning over into a new world, junior
Mhm.
high. This is gonna be his first on-campus experience since the pandemic started. So I'm wondering how he's gonna
Yeah.
socialize, how he's gonna make friends. He's switching from classroom to classroom now, and he's so used to staying in one classroom with all his friends for the whole day.
Yeah.
It,
And not to mention that we know what starts to happen at that middle school age with
right,
our teenagers, right? Puberty and
right,
all that. You're literally becoming a new person. And so add that on top of it. And that's what we're doing here in that support to the youth, I think is so important and imperative at this point. And so, like you said, I definitely agree with you that it can be a coping mechanism. And if if we are not there to support them, and for me, I just think, man, even the systems that we have, the education system and what teachers deal with, it's so much that needs a revamping, man, because if the right adults and people are not there to support them, man, it can take them further into that shell where you are thrusting people back out into a new world. You said it
right,
perfectly. It's a new world. Like I don't
right,
know this, man. I was 8. I was
right,
9. I was 12. Now,
right.
wait, you want me to go into high school as a freshman into all whoa, So
Right.
that's mind blowing. That support has to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you say to the parents during this time, especially with all that's going on? I know I do see there's a group of young people out there that wants to thrive. They want to go out there, do something, be great, young and black. What do you say to the parents who are scared to put them out there? How how would you tell them to encourage your kid? How would you know, calm down. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, the first thing is hug yourself. Like
Mm,
parents, man, no one, even for me, I always let it be known that I'm not a parent. I'm a godfather. I'm an uncle. I'm a
mhm,
brother. I'm a mentor. I'm a youth coach, but I'm not a parent. And so the first thing is, man, hug yourself. Extend yourself grace. Number one, to know that just like you have your children that's faced something that was unexpected in terms of the pandemic, you did as well. You had to shift and work from home or change your schedule and make things work and do all this and make sure you got your Wi-Fi and all this set up and computer. But a lot,
mhm,
that's a lot. Even as I think about that, man, that's a lot. So first thing is extend yourself grace. And then I think sometimes parents forget, and this is just me working with clients who are parents. I think sometimes parents forget that they were once that age. Not that they forget, but they just forget the mentality they had when they were 5, 15. Talk about the 15, 16, 20, you know? And so extend yourself grace, extend the child some grace to know that they are experiencing something that no one has experienced before to come up in a time such as what we're experiencing now. Things are ever changing. Approach it with love. Approach it with love. I think if you approach it with love, that's going to be half the battle. And when I say love, I don't mean that love of, you know, I gotta give you this overprotective love, or I gotta give you the same tough love I got. No, I mean love. What does that mean? You got to sit down and ask yourself these questions. How can I be better today? How can I show up as a better parent than I was yesterday? Because you're your only competition. You're your only
Mm,
competition. I'm competing
mm,
against the person. I'm competing against the me yesterday. I
right.
cannot control the outside forces or anyone else, but I can be a better Mike today. So a better father, better mother today than what I was yesterday. And that, I think that's the biggest thing is like meet them. Communication. We say communication as adults, but a lot of times we forget to communicate with these young people. They got some brilliant minds and ideas, and a lot of times it's not even allowed to flourish because it's just shut up, stay in a kid's
Right.
place, communicate. That's what I would say. Communicate
Communicate.
really and see what's going on in the minds of our youth.
Right.
Because if you don't communicate with them and you don't let them you don't allow them to be open, they're going to open up somewhere else, whether it's
Mm,
here or in the streets. They're going to open up somehow.
mm. And you know what? That's a great segue into my next question, because this has been in my mind for a minute. Let me give you this scenario. I call it the Fresh Prince scenario. We all
Mm.
know that famous episode of Will Smith's father coming back into his life, and that scene where he says, "I don't need him now. I made it without him." What do you say to that young adult who made it this far without that missing parent, and that missing parent tries to come back into their life? Or do you have a situation like right? Are you mentoring anybody like that right now?
Yeah, I think so. It's twofold. I think it's the adult and the young adult, right? So for that parent, right, the communication has to be even more open.
Mm,
And a lot of times people are not willing to look in the mirror. So as that adult, am I willing to look in the mirror and say what it is? Be honest with the reason why I wasn't there.
right.
Because if I can be honest with me about the reason why I wasn't there, now I can at least express it with that child, right? So that's the first thing I would say. The other hand, the young adult, I think everything is intention. So and same thing going back to the adult, the parent that was missing, the intention. What is the intention now? Because it can't be. It can. I'm not. I look. I'm a coach. The true definition of a coach. I ain't telling nobody what they should or should not do, but
Right.
it shouldn't be a case where now, oh, you made it, Reed. Let me come back in, man. I love you. Let me let me. I'm having some, not for absolution, but out of true love. I want to connect with my son. So intention. So for that young adult, I think you have to really sit down and say, okay, now it's harder because we can't put ourselves in the shoe of the however long it was. But for that young adult, it's this thought right here. And I share this, and it has nothing to do with parenting, but it fits in this instance. When I'm talking to people about health and fitness and changes, 5% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Mm,
5% of something, 1% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So in this space, now they weren't there, but they're genuinely, once you realize that they're genuinely wanting to come back in, and I can't subscribe the thing they should do, but genuinely, you have to ask yourself the question. There's someone who maybe lost their father while they were gone. They never had an opportunity to come back. They never had an opportunity to come back and say, "Hey, Mike, man, I'm sorry. I know I wasn't there, but you see what I'm saying." So now, okay, wasn't there. Would and be open and honest with yourself. Okay, I'm willing to let them back in, but I need time. I need time to let this relationship unfold and reconnect. I don't even know if I'm comfortable right now saying dad. Maybe it's just Mike right now. Can we have that agreement? It has to be a real conversation. And I would say be open. So if that's the to answer the question, bro, if there's anything I would tell them is to be open, open to the possibilities. Because again, they may come to the conclusion that nah, you don't understand. Re coach, y'all don't understand. Listen, y'all don't understand what I went through. Okay, I'm not forcing, but just be open to the opportunity or open to the possibilities.
No, that's deep. I received that. I hope everybody that's listening and watching receives that too. And that's not just for that situation. I think that's just for everyday life.
Yeah, for
That's
real.
for everyday life, especially the
Definitely, it
communication
is.
part. That's for everyday life. Just a couple more things. Um, for the young people that are getting ready to go to college and they're feeling discouraged, what you say to them? Give us a coach Mike uh mentoring somebody right now. Like they come to Coach Mike, Coach, I'm a young black man, but I don't feel safe going out to college, man. What should I do? Uh, I want to be great, but with all that's going on in the world, I just have doubts in the back of my head about what's going to happen in my future as being a young black man. What would you say to them? How would you mentor them in that situation?
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to say is congratulations.
Mm,
The first thing I'm going to say is congratulations. Let's pause right here. Let's pause right here and celebrate what you've done already. Wait, I ain't doing that. Whoa, whoa. You you're headed to college. Do you know the percentage of people that can say that, right?
mm,
Bro, I'm the youngest of 11 children. I'll say 10 because one of my middle sisters transitioned when she was a baby. So I'll say youngest of 10.
mm,
Out of all 10, I was the first to start and complete nonstop secondary education, college, going to college and completing. One of my sisters later went back and got a degree, a seminary degree. But other than that, me and her out of 10. And so, what I would tell that person is if you are headed to college, first of all, celebrate yourself. Pat yourself on the back. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You're doing what so many have not been able to do. And in terms of the fear, lean into what you want to do, lean into that passion, lean into the very thing that made you take the test to get accepted. Do all these things to make you want to go, whatever it is. Look, I'm just running from my past. Okay, run hard and build that future. So it's all about mindset, right? We what we the reticular activating system, we get more of what we focus on. So if we focus on the negative, we get more of the negative. We focus on the positive, we welcome more of the positive. So even if you don't have the support system, build it. When you get there to college, get involved. Find your community. Build your community in your web is what I call it. Not a circle, but a web, because we're all connected. Build your community in your web with positive people, like-minded, doing stuff for themselves, young, black, strong men and women that's out there getting it. And have a tenacity and a grit. Develop your mission. What is your mission statement? Develop your mission statement and your why, which is the reason why you do it, the reason why you're going to go to class, the reason why you're going to do it when nobody's there to tell you. Because let me tell you, you get to college, it's a different world. And no pun intended on the show. It's a
right.
different world. Mama, daddy, guardian, grandparent, counsel, they ain't there to tell you to get up and go to class. They ain't there to tell you to do your work. They ain't there to tell you to get past the procrastination and turn that term paper in before you fail this class. So it is a new world So you got to find your why and really just get grounded into the power that you already have. The fact that you're on your way to college to that next level, I applaud you. Lean into people like myself, like DJ Reed, bro, that's going to help and be there as a support system.
Right.
That's what I would say to that young man, that young woman who is going to that next level and say, I fear. Look, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Go be the greatest you can. And what I always say, my 4K is keep going, keep grinding, keep showing, keep shining. The go and the grind is for you because you have to get it. You're making that sacrifice to be there. Nobody ain't gonna wake you up. Even your roommate may be out the door. Hey, can you wake me up in the morning, bro? They gonna be out the door. You sleep. Keep going, keep grinding. That's for you. Then keep showing, keep shining. That's for the haters. That's for that little voice in your head that's telling you, "Oh, I don't think I can do this." Well, nobody else in my family made it. Well, who am I, man? I'm just a young man from the hood. Who am I to think I can go to college and make it? Show
Right.
and shine so bright that the haters, the enemy, anything that comes against you can't stand to see you coming. And just be
Right.
great.
Right. Man, man. You know what I said? I was taught on this. If you ain't got no haters, well, once you get your haters, then you know you made it.
Oh,
Because
come on now. Come
man,
on.
because that's when you know you made it, when you have them haters. Because for you know you're doing great when you have somebody down below looking up at you, start hating on your greatness. So
Or
that's one thing.
above.
Or
It ain't always
man,
below, bro. They look. Wait a
but
minute. Whoa,
yep,
he coming for my spot. And
right,
and I'm gonna echo what you said. When you got haters, guess what? Now they have something to hate on.
right,
Because if you ain't
right.
doing nothing for nobody to hate on, you ain't gonna have haters. So when you got haters, you got people opposition, people the ops. You got people coming against you, opposing you. Guess what? You must be doing something. And I ain't gonna always say something right. You must be doing something. So keep
Something
doing it. Be
right.
positive and shine. Look, that's the second two of my 4Ks. Show and shine so bright that the
Hmm.
haters can't even stand to see you coming. They got to put their shades on. Like, oh man, here come Rhea again. Here come Coach Mike again. Oh,
Right,
I don't even want to. No, I ain't even got time for that today. Shine.
right. Hey, I'd rather people hating on me than being the hater myself. Real talk.
Come on. Woo, that's big. That man in
Yeah.
the mirror ain't no joke.
Right. 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 So you got the 5Cs, the 4Ks. You got anything else like that we need to know about?
Man, listen, bro. I tell people I don't know what it is, but somewhere along the lines, from my high school to adult life, where a lot of stuff just changed with my mindset,
Mhm.
and maybe about 6, 7 years ago, um, yeah, about 6, 7 years ago now. Wow, time flies. I was going to say maybe not that long. I started paying attention, and I kind of started paying attention to like angel numbers, and
Okay.
numerology, and then repeating signs. So letters and sequences and stuff like that. It is really big for me, man. So I developed like a couple of things, man. And so I have my 3 Ws, my 5 Ps, my 5 Cs, and my 4Ks. And so I end all my videos, all my lives when I do it, and everything that I do, I end with all my little motivational stuff, and it has all my little repeating letter sequences in there.
Okay. Okay. Man, that's dope, man. You blessed my soul today, brother. You
Man, I
man.
appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, yes. Now, let me switch gears real quick before I let you go. It's Black History Month. Do you have a favorite Black History moment?
Oh, Black History moment. Okay. I'm going to say, let me think about that question, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, that's a great question," and it's to stall and buy time.
Mm.
My favorite Black History moment. Here, here's the thing about that. I love for people to do something that's personal to them, right?
Yeah.
Because Black History, we think about what we learn and the watered down Black history that they teach us in our jacked up education system. We ain't gonna
Right.
go there, right? It's the same figures and all this stuff, and so much of the stuff that's true Black history and can be empowering for us. We're well into adult life. Like,
Right.
man, Juneteenth just started popping the last decade. you know,
Exactly.
it's people still saying like Juneteenth. What is that? So Black history, I'm going to bring it all the way home for me. and I'm going to make this real, and I want people to think about what I'm saying here. You know, Black History for me is this what I'm wearing on my head, man.
Right.
My business, my company, PNZ Life Coaching. My parents are true Black history. My father's side, we were able to, in the James family, trace back our lineage all the way to our great ancestor that was an enslaved individual from Virginia that was enslaved and had the last name, surname James,
Mm.
was sold off to the Pittsview area or the Pittsview area plantation of Alabama. So that's how we got down to Alabama. And in that process, the pride that my ancestor had, she made an agreement that she would marry her husband if he would let her keep her last name.
Mm.
He agreed. So right
Wow.
now you will be sitting here talking to Coach Mike Pitts.
Oh
if
wow.
if my ancestor, my great sometimes over grandmother was not didn't have that grit and that excellence and power to say, you know what, I want to honor my name. On my mom's side, the same thing. My grandfather was an amazing. I'm just talking about now. My mother's father was an amazing businessman and had a minor league baseball team and
Mm.
left his children. My mom left his children, which means now both my parents are transitioning. I'm gonna bring that all the way home in just a second. Left my family, had 13 children, left them all 9 acres apiece.
Wow.
Not to mention the acreage that the family house sits on. So outside of that, so that's excellence in Black history that a lot of times we have Black history right in our families and we don't
Right.
know it because people are not sharing those stories. So
Right.
I'm like, listen, on this podcast, I want people to know, wow, Coach Mike James came from some greatness. So PNZ
Right.
Life Coaching. My dad was the late great Bishop Prince James Jr. That's the P in the PNZ, my business. My mom was the late great evangelist Izola Edmonds James, affectionately known by her family as Zola. So they call her
Wait, you
Zola.
say she's an evangelist?
My mom was an evangelist. Yep.
Well, because I'm telling you, when you speak, I hear a little preaching in you.
Man,
So,
listen, it's in me. You know what? I used to joke, man. I used to joke, and they would always say, because my family is full of like preachers, uncles, aunts, my siblings. I think out of 10 of us, five, five's in the ministry. So I always say, look, they say, God, God calling you, God calling you to the ministry, God calling you to the pulpit. I say, well, look, if God calling me, I ran out of minutes.
you know what?
I used to joke
No,
about that.
this is
But
it.
here, let me say
He.
this though.
Okay.
Oh, go. No, let me say this though. I used to joke about that, but I say, listen, we think ministry is one thing.
Right.
We think ministry is the pulpit and you're preaching and you read. Ministry is enriching the lives of God's people, enriching the
Yes.
lives of people that you touch. So I'm in ministry every day. And so I
Right.
tell people, yes. But again, PNZ Life Coaching, that's why I named it, because whether I grow to hire family or staff or anything like that, I'm always representing. Every time I'm doing this, every time I'm in any space, every time, somebody goes to my profile on Poco and it clicks my link, they're going to see PNZ. I'm repping Black history. So that's the meaning behind what I do. And PNZ Life Coaching, the umbrella, everything I do, my speaking, my coaching, my teaching and facilitating, it all leads back to the greatness that has been instilled in me. So that's my Black history moment.
Oh, that's dope, man. I love that. And when you said people were asking you, have you been called to preach? This is my answer for you. I am preaching. I'm not preaching in the pulpit, but you see me out here preaching to the young people as a life coach. Just because I'm not called the way you want me to be called, God has a calling on my life to do something different. And that's what
Come
you
on.
think He got me calling. Okay, let me stop.
You better say that. Look, come on. Hey, come on, preacher.
Hey,
Listen.
I'm a
Look, bro,
pastor's
I gotta
kid,
share this.
so
Yeah, hey, PK's in the house. I
yeah.
gotta share this, bro, because I did. I was telling you all like in the Poco streets, I was saying, and I shared it on Instagram. My one of my largest speaking engagements to date was last week, and honestly, man, I ain't gonna lie, I think that's how I got the vid. But anyway, it was a blessing, man. And when I was doing it, man, I didn't know. They told me, and I saw it, in the contract, but I didn't really know. Okay, I got the whole hour and 45 minutes, bro.
Mm.
It was a breeze. And I represented that fact that I told them, like, y'all, listen, I'm a southern PK, I'm a southern preacher kid. So it's call and response. So when I say something, I need y'all to talk back to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Call and response.
just representing that, man, and just being proud of no matter where I am in life and where I am and what I do or don't do, I know my roots and I'm proud of it. So yeah, man, I just had to share that because I was like, yeah, I was like, look, PK in the house. I need y'all to talk back to me when I say something.
Right. Man, I appreciate you so much for coming on, man. Tell the people how they can reach you, get in contact with you, your social media platform. Just tell us anything you got going on. Let us know, and we'll put it out there for you.
No doubt, bro. Listen, if I can, I'm gonna make it short how you can find me, and then I want to do my closing if that's okay with you. Because you asked me about like any other letters and stuff I have, but I'm at Coach Mike James everywhere. Everywhere where I am on a regular basis, I'm at Coach Mike James, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. My business page is Coach Mike James. So I'm at Coach Mike James everywhere you can find at Coach Mike James. And yeah, I love to hear from people. If you heard from me on the AO podcast, let me know because I want to give that love back to bro. And listen, let me do this thing like I always do. Murphy's Law. Nah, not the one you're thinking about. Murphy's Law. That's my 8th grade homeroom teacher. You are somebody. Today you are great. Tomorrow you'll be greater because Miss Murphy said so, and I concur. My 3 W's. Know that the universe is aligned to give you what you want, will, and work for in that order. Want it, will it, work for it. Watch the puzzle pieces fall. And I want you to embody the 5 P's. My 5 P's is let your power give you a passion that will pin you to your purpose. And once you plan properly, experience prosperity. That is spiritually, mentally, socially, physically, and financially. Know that you can do that. Know that you can embody everything I've said to this point. Why? Because you are the 5 C's. You're capable, competent, confident, conscious, and courageous to do any and everything you seek to do in this life. Once you do that, you get those things in line. There's nothing but one thing left to do. That's my 4 Ks. Keep going, keep grinding, keep showing, keep shining. As always, know that God loves you. So do I. And I want you to love life, live love, peace, together, not apart. Y'all take care. That's my closing, bro.
Woo! And that's your affirmation for let the church say amen.
Amen.
It's time to take the offering. Altar card. Ooh. That's your affirmation for the day. Man, hey, so to close this out, can you give us 2 dad jokes? Two of your good dad jokes.
2 dad jokes, man. I must say that it was a little tough because my wife and I was going at it a little bit, walked in the bedroom and tripped up, man. She left her bra on the floor. It was a booby trap. And I'm sorry if I didn't have as much energy as I wanted to, because I woke up and I was just running around the bed this morning, just running around the bed. I was trying to catch up to my sleep.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Hey, bro, that was on command. See, I flow, y'all. He told y'all I'm a master dad joker now.
Yes. Again, man, I appreciate you. Everybody go follow Coach Mike James. Let him know DJ Reed and the AO podcast sent you. All right. I appreciate you, brother. All right. That was a great conversation I had with Coach Mike James. I hope you learned something from it because I know I did. Again, I want to thank him for coming on the very first episode of the AO podcast. All right. Again, you can find me on Instagram at DJReed84. Follow everything else from the Culture Network at the.culture.network. You can also find all of the podcasts, including the AO show, on all podcast platforms on the Culture Network. And guess what? I have some merch out too. The links will be down below. Or if you're listening, you can find me on springtea.com and look for the DJ Reeds. DJ Reed's A Show shop, the DJ Reed A Show collection. You know, I got the hoodies and T-shirts. I said, "Hey, yo." All right. Until next time, I'm your boy DJ Reed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us wherever at the Culture Network. All right. Until next one. Peace out. Deuces.